Is about you being able to get agents started fast and agents getting paid fast, because I think that's the most important part when we're bringing people into this business, is making sure that they get paid and that the whole process that they went through to get licensed was worth it, and the belief level doesn't go out the window in a week or two, because that's what can happen. So if you could just touch base on kind of what your process looks like from them getting licensed to getting out and selling their first policy. What do you guys do as far as Living Hope goes to get your conversion rate?
I mean, we obviously have staff that supports the whole thing, but I think that staff can be like a weird crutch for people, where they hire staff so they don't have to do the work. They hire staff so that they don't have to build their business. And maybe there's someone they say, I just want to sell insurance, and I'll hire staff and they'll build my agency. And it doesn't work like that, because at the end of the day, they joined your agency to work with you. So like that personal relationship and contact is important. Now, do I spend equal amounts of time with everybody? Absolutely not. There's people who kind of self-select, and you figure out that process through going through this pipeline. They'll kind of explain who's worth spending your time with and who's not worth spending your time with. But I think it's just so important to note that I recruit with my staff. I build my agency with my staff. My staff doesn't build the agency for me. And I think so many people, they get caught up in, I'm going to hire a recruiter because I heard that so-and-so has 3 recruiters. And if I just, you hear like buy your income here at FFL, and you can totally buy your income from a selling perspective. From a building perspective, yeah, you can invest in advertising campaigns. You could have 1,000 people a month who are raising their hand, I want to sell insurance. But if you're not building personal relationships with any of those people, they're not going to stick, at the end of the day, because there's a reason why a warm market, if you look at a lot of people's agencies, you look at my group, probably my top 5 people all came from my warm market or someone's warm market of my warm market. And I think that works like that because warm market has so much trust. So if I don't take the time to build a relationship with them, why would they actually do what's necessary to find success in this business? And my staff, this random person, is now building the relationship for me, and they've never sold insurance before. So it's my job is to build up belief in that person that they can do this, that it's not as complicated as they're making it in their mind. And it's just you hear if someone doesn't have belief in themselves, they need to borrow the belief that you have in them until they get out there. So it's I'm not trying to make it some esoteric thing at all, but it's you have to be involved in the process. And if you're an agency manager here who's struggling to convert people from recruited into the field, I encourage you to become more involved in the process. That's kind of the number one thing. And I'll give you a process, but there's no perfect process. I had someone come up to me at one of the meetings, and they're like, dude, can you give me your exact onboarding process? And I was like, dude, it's really not that. It's not some special formula. Yeah. I think a lot of people, they think that there's some magic secret. They want to know what's the secret to building this thing so fast, and there really isn't a secret. Just like we have insurance leads who want to buy insurance, we call the leads and we tell them we're coming over. We lead, guide, and direct people in the home. It's the exact same thing here. We're very assumptive on the phone. I assume that everybody wants to work with us. I assume that everybody wants to get licensed. I assume that everybody wants to get contracted. Everyone wants to make money. And I lead, guide, and direct them and say, I use word tracks here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to get an email from my staff, and it's going to have a link for you to schedule your exam, and here's what you're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. So it's just important to kind of have that type of language. But I'll kind of give you a basic breakdown of kind of what I've got from a staff breakdown. I've got a full-time contracting person, full-time recruiter, and full-time virtual assistant who works about 40 hours a week out of the Philippines. So I started off, and I had one staff member who, she's phenomenal. She came in and she just started helping me from on a client side of things, and she called on pending policies and sent thank you cards and made sure clients knew if they were approved or denied. And then she started sending out recruiting letters for me. So that was just an email that said, hey, welcome to Living Hope. Follow this link to get your exam voucher, follow this link to schedule your exam, join the Facebook group, etc. And that's all she did. And then she was now starting to do contracting. It got a little bit overwhelming. She's now doing contracting, recruiting, and client stuff. And the client stuff started to fall off, and I was getting some chargebacks. So brought a VA on to do all my client stuff, wait on hold with America for 2 hours so I don't have to. And then they moved 100% into contracting, and then I brought on a recruiter. And my recruiter is, once again, I have to come back to, we recruit together. She's more of a screener. So we have various different lead types that are coming in, whether it be the Go High Level campaign with Andrew, or different campaigns that Grady and I test out, or my warm market. And if I have a conversation with someone cold market, whether it's ZipRecruiter or Go High Level, wherever they come from, Jennifer screens them for me. She has that initial conversation just to see if someone's sharp. And if someone's sharp, she immediately connects them with me in a three-way text, and then I'm going through all my three-way texts between appointments, and I'm following up with those people and getting to know them, finding out, what's their background, what's their story. We won't do a huge recruiting clinic on like the exact word tracks that I use, but I have that initial conversation. I say, here's what we're gonna do. I walk them through, I make sure that they know what the next steps are and that I'm gonna be there for them. I think that you go through the process, they need to know that they're going to struggle on the phones, they're going to struggle in the home, but they're going to have coaching, that other people have gone through the exact same thing, and that, hey, when you go book your 15 appointments and you're really, really scared to go out to those appointments, just know that if you get through the financial inventory and you call, either I'm going to answer or someone else in the team's going to answer, and we're going to be the quarterback on your ear, and we're going to tell you exactly what to do, and we're going to help you close that first deal, and we're going to do that as soon as possible. So staff just supports me in pushing people through the pipeline. Hey, Jennifer, my recruiter, she says, hey, you scheduled your exam for February 2nd, perfect. I'm going to follow up with you on February 3rd to make sure you actually passed. Okay, or I'm going to help you get it rescheduled if you didn't. Okay, you passed, perfect. Here's the next steps. And we're just always pushing people to the next step. And like your pipeline can get clogged, a bunch of people stuck in class.
Yep.
And you got to clear it out. So every now and then she'll go through every recruit that we have, and she'll just the goal is just to disposition them either from, they're done, they're out of the process, or on to the next step. And we just do that periodically as much as possible and just try to push people through. And then once they get licensed, Samantha, my contracting manager, she takes over, and now she's helping them get through HCMS, insurance pay, and pushing them through. And then when there's certain benchmarks hit, like, their first writing number came in, or whatever it is, we're giving them CRM access. They're scheduling a call with me to go over leads, or whoever their manager is. And I'm also encouraging, from a duplication perspective, Mike Curry hires someone, Josh Lockhart hires somebody, hey, set up a 5-minute intro call. You're their manager, you're going to coach them, teach them, train them, lead, guide, direct. Let's set up a 5-minute intro call so I'm not just this removed person that they think is too busy to take their call. Yep. I think that's important, because I've had so many agents, and it's the worst feeling in the world. I didn't reach out because I thought you were too busy.
All the time.
And it's you need to have that initial conversation. So it's for some whatever reason, you'll try to schedule a call with a new agent, maybe you'll play phone tag with them for a while, and then once you have that first conversation, now it's I don't even need you to schedule a call with me anymore. When you need help, just call me.
Yep.
Call me anytime, day or night, text me, I'll answer, as long as I'm not helping another client or rocking my baby to sleep. Otherwise I'm going to answer your phone call. And so it's just, I think it's important to let people know you're available.
Yep.
And when you don't answer your phone, Sean talked about it all the time, you don't answer your phone, people, they're gonna eventually not like you anymore.
Yeah.
So